Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. A little bit of mix-up in the beginning of the show tonight. We really wanted to get Rumble straight so we can pre-show the show there, but apparently Rumble didn't want to cooperate. I'm not sure exactly why, but with Rumble, you don't have to start the stream. You just click start streaming on OBS and it takes off. But if you set the stream for a specific time, it won't go early. You have to set it for early and then go late to make it work right. So didn't work this week, but we'll try again next week. Otherwise, things are pretty good. I'm TUES, and with me, as always, my two favorite co-hosts in the world, Terry D. Mantis.
Hello.
And Jen Maxty.
I am here. I was playing around with the Rumble. I was like, "Ooh, I can send subliminal messages to the YouTube." So have fun with that.
How you doing, Jen?
I've been having a very fun week. It's been a very tiring week because they've had me working a lot, and I think the exhaustion just kind of got to my head. So it's like chat after chat after chat. Let's see if I can get this person to laugh in the middle of doing their stream. Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a frog in my throat. Hopefully that doesn't get any worse as the night goes. Terry, how you doing?
I am all right, but you do need to take the French person out of your throat.
Yes. It's a French woman. Let's just be clear about that, okay?
I chose not to assume.
I don't know what... I really haven't been talking much today. My girlfriend's not here. She's on assignment. She's part of Mission Impossible. No, she's a photographer. So she hasn't been here all week, and she won't be back until the weekend. So I have nobody here to talk to during the day. So I haven't really used my voice until we started talking in the stream tonight, because I haven't talked to anybody on the phone or anything today. So actually, the only person I did talk to is I talked to Monkey a little bit earlier. He was having some computer problems that I think we got straightened out. I hope we got straightened out. But so my voice is just being a little wonky. Yeah, it seems I have to talk a little bit, or else I get kind of like, I don't know, my throat doesn't want to work very well when I first get up in the morning. So usually it's like an octave lower than it normally is.
Fair enough.
I get that morning voice. Rah, 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 rah,
yeah. No, I'm familiar.
Well, okay. So Jen's in chat on Rumble.
I'm working through it. All right, it's taking me a little bit of going back and forth. I got y'all.
I really have to redo how the Rumble chat shows up in our stream, and I'm going to have to redo YouTube to match, because the way the Rumble stream works is I can't capture the Rumble stream like I can the YouTube stream. So I'm going to have to change the format on OBS to accommodate Rumble, and which will of course impact YouTube. So that'll be next week, though. That's a lot of work to have to do for that.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where even I admit that I still use YouTube. It's not that I'm not aware of the Rumble. It's just I really need to know when a person has it and whether or not they're actually going to run it. And I think people are slowly coming to terms with the facts that, the dual streaming at least is getting people to go. It's like I do know people who do that with Twitch. I heard rumors about that too, by the way. But it's once I have that notice that, both options are available, I'll go to the other option. And it's I am in that position of wanting to boycott YouTube. It's not because I don't see it as a viable option. It's not because I don't have history with YouTube. I've loved YouTube for as long as it's existed, just as much as anybody else has. But I'm tired of the politics involving that one moment where I just want some entertainment, because it is a struggle. Like, yes, I have to deal with the politics in my country. My country feels like it's on fire all the time. So yes, I have to deal with it. But for 5 minutes, when I'm just wanting to watch a game or just wanting to listen to people talk about movies, which even that shit is full of politics nowadays, we all just want a place to go where we can just have fun, tell our jokes, and not have our jokes be taken out of context. Like, at no point in his existence from now, since the first time it started, will PewDiePie ever leave behind the Twitter weirdos. He hasn't been on Twitter for 3 years. He's probably going to be one of the biggest guys on YouTube. regardless of what he does.
I think more people should do what someone like Better Bachelor does, where he'll have his like YouTube video, and then at the end he'll say, "But if you want access to the fun stuff," because he does like dating profile of the day, where he makes fun of the ridiculous dating profiles on Tinder, and so. But if you want access to that stuff, well, YouTube won't let me show it. So come join me over at Locals, where I'm the only moderator, and I can show what I want to show. So he'll still put content out on YouTube because that's where the audience is.
Yes.
But he will also withhold less important content and use that as bait to lure people away from the platform, which I think is a good idea.
I also think it's that theory of like being in the crowd. It does take a few people to just be brave, stand up, and just start doing it for more people to really trickle in. And so, yeah, I'm understanding that. Yeah, I probably do have to hold on to YouTube a little bit longer, but more people are coming here. I don't know. Yeah, like he's still going to post some things on YouTube, just the same as Joe Rogan does, but it's going to be limited.
See, the problem with me is most of the channels that I watch are only on YouTube. Like, if you want to watch political stuff, then absolutely Rumble is like perfect for that, because that the people who get kicked off YouTube or find YouTube unworkable tend to be the people with politics YouTube disapproves of. But if I want to watch Brian F play Street Fighter, it's either YouTube or Twitch, and like they're both very, very far left platforms.
So that leads to a rumor that I heard, and I did hear it through the Clownfish, and they heard it through a rumor. So take it with a grain of salt, rumor through rumors. But they hear that Twitch is going a little bit broke, so they're kind of up for sale. And it looks, their rumor is that it's Rumble that's looking to sniff to buy Twitch. Okay. I don't know that that's going to happen, because I think Twitch is worth quite a bit still, but I don't know.
Well, I did hear that the CEO of Twitch stepped down.
Well, he still takes a massive cut from Twitch streamers.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if the CEO is stepping down, then that's kind of suggesting that things may not be going super well.
So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but it never hurts to build on other platforms. Heck, this isn't the only one that's out there starting up either. Like, hey, Rumble, there's still got competition. People are still kind of they want to do their own thing. They're tired of being dictated to. We don't want to be controlled. If you don't like my language, counter me with another video. There's always somebody out there who's like, I could debate you and win you in a debate, even though I'm not really debate material. No.
Yeah. No, if more people move away from YouTube, I'm happy to follow. But for now, like 80% of the channels I follow aren't anywhere else. So I'm still, tied to YouTube if I want to watch what I want to watch.
I was looking at chat, and I think they were complaining that there was problems with the stream. But I just checked the stream on YouTube, and YouTube says, "Hey, everything's great."
There was a quick moment on my end where there's like a second of buffering, but it's fine now. Like, I didn't even have to refresh; it just fixed itself. But
I'm not seeing anything on my end. Everything looks perfect.
My guy is having problems that his browser's not auto-updating or something, auto-refreshing.
Speaking of chat, hello, the original Shroom, Mike R, JB, 8 Camel, hi Mash, Mr. Adam. Is that everybody? Mike R, Johnny Hellcat.
Camel is saying the same thing. He had to close the stream and reopen it, so something must have glitched out.
Well, if anything happened, it's YouTube. There's nothing wrong on my end, so everything looks. I mean, even YouTube's telling me everything's perfect. So I don't know. It's been fine. I'm monitoring here, and the stream is fine.
Yeah, the line at the bottom right corner looks pretty straight.
Yeah,
doesn't look like there's any massive drops.
That's what I'm sending to YouTube. So It's a pretty straight stream. Hi, Mash.
Yeah, the only thing that's really kind of
Richie?
stopped is because you split the stream with Rumble, that part of the chat hasn't updated. So if you look at the bottom where
No, he was saying that's because Rumble does the chat
can
the reverse
kind of
way
fix
that
that.
YouTube does. So he's got to go in and fix the settings, and that'll be like a next week kind of thing.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't fix it on the fly.
I can kind of go on YouTube here and fix it. It's kind of weird to see.
Yeah, it's not.
it's not
Good.
mandatory either. It's really just me greeting everybody. But
No, yeah, at the
just so
moment,
you guys
it is.
know, that's all you're missing.
At the moment, it is. But if someone jumps into the Rumble chat, then we won't see
Now it'll be fine.
on screen. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't see the stuff that was at the top because now we're scrolling from the bottom as new people come in. So at least on that side, I go over here, do the same thing on the Rumble stream too. Is fix it there.
Let's see if that goes through properly. There might be a bit of a delay.
There should be 12 seconds.
There it is. So on the Rumble, it's fine. Like you can see the Rumble chat just fine in the. But yeah, YouTube is not working properly.
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
I fixed them both. They should be okay now. I see your ahoy on both streams now.
Yes, there it
So
is.
all good. Yeah, it's just the way it writes. What I'm going to do is hopefully this works, is I'm going to make the Rumble chat vertical. And I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to make the whatchamacallit, the YouTube chat vertical. I'm going to have to push things around a little bit. See, there's like a 1 inch gap on the left-hand side of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Might just move all of our icons and everything all the way over to the left to make up more room in the center. And then just have 2 verticals.
Yeah,
That's
that
the only
makes
way I
sense.
can really get around it. So I could probably get rid of all that CPU usage and graphic stuff on the right-hand side too.
I mean, the network meter at the bottom is useful because you can see. I mean, I can see because obviously you have your own way of checking, but I can see if there's any major issues.
Mm-hmm.
But the other details like the CPU usage, I don't really pay attention to.
I just put it up there because I thought the people in chat would find it interesting. But the only thing that's really important is the network stream, and even the network stream, I can knock that down to just being a very thin line showing the graph and nothing else. I can certainly do that. So we'll have to work on it. If anybody in chat has a suggestion on what they think we should do, I'm open to it. Send me a DM on Twitter or something.
Looks like Cynic is waiting for a delivery from Australia Post.
Hello, Cynic. Anyway, so tonight's topics: Arrested Developments.
That was a good TV show.
It was a good TV show. Never watched it, but I heard from almost everybody who has that it was a good show. I'm just not a big TV person unless it's sci-fi.
From what I've heard, only the first 3 seasons were good. After that, it got cancelled and then brought back on other platforms. Like there was some live streaming service that got it, and Netflix had it for a while. But the first 3 seasons were amazing. Everything after that, I haven't seen, so I can't tell you.
Not a big fan of situation. Not a big fan of situation comedy. But if it was a science fiction show, I'd be watching it. Like I'm watching Star Trek, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just not a big TV person. I'm much more of a movie person. But I believe the show is called Arrested Development, singular. So I wanted to try to make it a little bit different by making it plural. This is all about Trump, who said on Truth Social that he would be arrested on Tuesday, which, of course, didn't happen. Then
did he specify which Tuesday?
That's a good point. Did he say next Tuesday or did he just say a Tuesday? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. But that didn't happen Tuesday. And now I'm hearing it's supposed to be tomorrow. So I don't know if that's true. But I did get a tweet from Cat Turd. Everybody who hasn't subscribed to Cat Turd, go ahead and do that. He's a pretty funny guy. But he got a tweet that he retweeted from somebody else called Benny Johnson. I don't know who that is. It says breaking. New bombshell document destroys Manhattan DA's case against Trump. A 2018 letter from Michael Cohen's lawyer to the FEC declares Cohen used his own personal funds to pay Stormy Daniels. Trump is not a party to the transaction, did not reimburse Cohen for the payment. It's over. That was the tweet. And he provided a document that backs him up from Cohen saying that he paid. So maybe he's not going to get arrested at all, because with that information out on the real world, and there's been some reports about the DA too. The guy who's supposed to be prosecuting him. They didn't mention his name. I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. But the New York DA that's trying to prosecute this, they're finding.
Oh, was that Bragg guy?
Yeah, it's Bragg. That was his last name. Yeah, they're finding
Alvin Bragg, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They're finding out information that he did some bad things in his past.
Uh-oh.
So he might be actually the person getting arrested.
That would be funny. That would be very funny.
That would be quite ironic. Yes. So I never really thought that Trump was going to get arrested in the first place, because it turns out Trump wanted to be arrested because it strengthens his case of, look what they're doing to me unfairly.
Yeah. It feeds into his persecution claims. Like, he's been saying the whole time that, quite rightly so, that the media's been out to get him, and, that he's basically being persecuted, and had he been arrested, he would have had something very concrete to point to and say, I told you so.
Yeah.
They are making bullshit up about me just to get rid of me. Clearly, I am a threat. You need to put me back in office.
I also think this is one of those things where they threw it out really hastily, not thinking that anybody would have kind of looked into this stuff sooner.
We've tried everything else. What do we have left? Oh, you remember that old charge he had before? Let's go after that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jen. I think that's exactly. They have nothing left. I mean, well, how many investigations have they done on Trump and found nothing now? Like 6 now? They've tried to find him, and this is going to be the 7th that they're going to have to close down and not do. It is clearly a witch hunt. Oh, Tyr's in chat. Hey, Tyr.
It's also, I think it's clear that the left has really missed mooching Trump for money, because it's going to start up again. Like, they really miss Trump money, and it's really pathetic.
What's going to happen in 2024? Are we going to have Trump back in office again?
I don't think so.
No? Who's going to be the guy? Because Ron hasn't said he's going to run.
I don't know who it will be, but I know Trump wants, like, he's going to, like, run for it. He's already announced that he's running for it, but I think they'll go with someone else. I don't think he'll get the nomination.
Well,
there's too much resistance to Trump.
Well, plus he's only got 4
even
years,
within his
right?
own party.
Like, if he goes back in, he really only has 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if there's any point at that point. No offense to him, but he didn't get much done he did get stuff done, but he didn't get everything or a lot of the things that people really wanted, and then he brought in shit that led to problems.
The only thing he never really got done was the wall. That was one where he didn't get it. He got some of it, a little bit of it, but he didn't get a full wall like he promised. I think if he would have had consecutive terms, he might have got there.
Yes.
But splitting his terms, he's
messed up the plan.
Yeah, if he ever gets back in office, if he does get back in office, if he does manage to get back as a president, I don't know how much he's going to be able to get done. He'd have to.
Agreed.
He would have to get the Senate too, because they've already got the House. If they got Trump and the Senate, and they had all 3, they could probably push a lot of stuff through. But there's still a lot of rhinos in the Senate and the House, so I don't know. I'll have to make a good case for anything he wants to do.
I think Tier in chat may be alluding things we're not allowed to say on YouTube. I'm not sure if that's where he's going by saying Trump is technically the incumbent. That may be something that gets the channel in trouble with the.
I don't know if I've ever had a strike or a problem with the channel for somebody in chat. Have you ever heard of that happening
No,
before?
no. But if we were to agree
Read
with
it?
him, is what I.
Oh, yeah, agree. Yeah, no, I'm not going to read it. I'll say hi to Tierra as far as I don't want to get in trouble.
I think I think that kind of stuff doesn't really hit us until afterwards. Like once it's posted as a stream, if there's something there, yeah, I think people can flag you for it. It's just they really have to go through like hours of streams just to really find that kind of shit, you know?
Well, I mean, we had something from 5 years ago get flagged. Remember? So
that
clearly,
was somebody talking. That was I think, I don't know for sure.
Yeah. No.
But I think
What people say in chat is what people say in chat. I'm just saying that if we were to discuss the topic that here is, that would be bad for the channel.
Yeah, the outside stuff that I see where you might hear a rumor of that, it really is the people who hate watch, the real hate watchers, not just people who are like watching a movie and then doing a review on it. I mean the people that hate you for like 9 to 10 years and follow every single thing you do. Those kind of weird people might flag you for something like that. But for a little channel like us, no, they're going to get us for more petty stuff because that's easier to go for.
I have so many better things to do with my time than watch someone I hate. Like, I don't watch, Angry Joe or Philip DeFranco because I don't like them. I've got no time in my day to sit there watching them specifically to hate them. That doesn't make sense in my head.
I know it sounds weird, but like a lot of people who do that, like honestly, they are the ones that you kind of think they should have made special hospitals for, because they're crazy. It's a crazy person stalking somebody, and that's what that is. At least they're not going as far as going to the house of the person, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, like Jim Sterling is a perfect example. I don't like that guy, so I don't watch his channel. I don't sit there watching it going, oh yeah, this is making me hate him even more. Oh, I'm going to report him for, like, I don't give a fuck. I don't like his YouTube channel, so I don't watch it. That there ends my engagement with his existence.
And you know what? That's actually why I appreciate you. And it's the same reason I can appreciate Sinatra when he says he doesn't like Steven Crowder. He just doesn't like him. So you know what? I don't force Steven Crowder on him. Like I might bring up Steven Crowder if he's in the news, because Sinatra will talk about the news. He doesn't like the guy. He'll still stand by his right to post the shit he posts.
Yeah.
For the same reason that Steven Crowder would stand. Well, probably not, because he doesn't know who he is, but if he did, he would. It's that level of understanding that people don't always understand. Like I was watching people who, like, the quartering is another example of this. Yet again, there are people I know who genuinely really don't like the quartering. And I get and I genuinely get your grip. I get your dislike for him too, because I see it when I hear other people say what their griefs are. I do kind of see where they're coming from when I watch him afterwards. I just watch Jeremy because he talks so fucking much sometimes.
Yeah. I put Jeremy in the same camp as Tim Pool, where he's got like maybe 2 videos worth of things to say, but he releases 10.
But there was a part where I noticed people, even in his own comment section, because yet again, I don't necessarily do all that either. Like, I don't necessarily spend my whole time reading the comment section. Sometimes I'm actually just engaged with the video and I'm good. That's it. But you read the comment section, and there's always that one goon who thinks they have the right to control the conversation of every other person, because they think, oh, well, if you're speaking on my behalf, then you better be speaking what I say. And these are actually narcissists. Like, it's not just our side. Their side has a hell of a lot more than our side. That's why I'm happy with my side. But they're on our side. They're on everybody's side. And I hate those people. If you don't like what somebody's got to say, do what a Sinatra does and just stop watching them. And what Terry does, and stop watching them. Or me. I'm annoying to some people too. Please don't, because we like you. But I own that. I annoy some people.
No, it seems pretty straightforward to me. It's like, watch the things that you enjoy. Like, I cannot comprehend, like, even with like TV shows. Oh my God, the Rings of Power is terrible. Okay, don't watch it. Like, why watch it every week just to hate it? Like, what do you get out of that?
I
All it does is
watch
give them ratings and make them guarantee that they'll release another season.
I watch Philip DeFranco, and I don't interact. I don't like or dislike. I just watch because even though I don't like him, he does provide news, even if it's got a leftist slant. He does provide news about things I don't know about. So it still provides a benefit. I just have to think, yeah, who's this dickhead? You know, it's fuck you.
Yeah.
But I listen to what he has to say, and he gives it to me in the way that I like. Here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. Right through him, man. He wastes no time. I love that.
Yeah, I can draw a distinction between liking a person and liking their work. Like a lot of the fighting game stuff, the people themselves are lefty loonies, but they keep that shit out of their videos. It's just fighting game stuff. So I can happily watch Rooflemonger talk about Street Fighter because he doesn't bring up his thoughts on border policy in a Street Fighter video. So it doesn't matter that he's an idiot.
And I actually do respect that Hammer will at least watch the source, because the thing is he's not wrong. He is offering information, but there's nothing wrong with understanding what the leftist view is on a topic, even if you think it's stupid. And I don't, that's part of the problem. I think it's stupid or it makes me angry to see it. I still want to know what it is that they're saying, because otherwise you get lost in a conversation. So Hammer's got one up on me. Like, he's getting the information, but he's also, to a certain extent, understanding what their view is, even if he doesn't like it. I don't do that often enough. I should do it more, but I just, there's a certain level of like, no, my tisms go off. I walk away.
See, I actually like Jeremy. I like the person, but I have a hard time with his content because he spends a lot of time on a topic that could be like, 2 minutes. He drags it out to 13 or 15 minutes. It's like, geez, dude, I got what you were saying the first 3 minutes. Give me something else.
That's something I respect. V, like Sargon's friend V.
Mm-hmm.
If he's only got 2 minutes to say about a topic, he'll make a 2-minute video. He doesn't pad it just to feed the algorithm.
Yeah, Bering does the same thing.
Yeah,
a lot of his videos are like 4 minutes. Like, oh.
And I actually respect that, because it's far more profitable to pad it to 10 minutes so you get the best advertising stuff. But he's like, no, I don't have 10 minutes to say. I've got 4 minutes to say, so I'll make a 4-minute video.
Well, it just respects the viewer's time, and that's a cool thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also that people are not as stupid. Like, you don't really need a novel for every topic. You don't need every step-by-step thing. Like, it's like how they changed math, so it looks more complicated than it is. Common Core math, that stuff, and you're like, wow, well, you're making a map for like 1 + 1. Okay. But it's the same concept. Like, you can get from A to B without 10 paragraphs.
He's got good coffee. I'll give him that much.
He also, I do think he does try to come from an angle of trying to be helpful to the community. Like, does he come from a big brother, big bro angle, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way? Yeah, he does. That's my brother. He comes from a big bro angle too. But I think Jeremy does try to do that. Like, he has put out, like, trying to help for smaller tubers that were being fucked over.
Yeah, I remember him going. I remember him going to the mats for what's the girl's name? Melanie Mack.
Mm-hmm.
He started up a channel, and he was like, "Hey, everybody, go out there and subscribe to her." Her channel blew up. It went from like maybe 500 people to like some ridiculous 37,000 in like a week.
No, I do appreciate that about Jeremy. As much as I don't like his videos, he does seem like his heart's in the right place, and that he's like
very protective of his friends.
Genuinely a good person when it comes to promoting others and like smaller channels, giving them a helping hand so that they can have the opportunities that he thinks they deserve.
Yeah.
He's very good about that stuff.
That, and one of these days, I am totally going to punk him with a ranting monkey question, because I almost got him to. Like, the thing is he's smart enough to actually read his chat, which a lot of people don't.
He knows who
But
Ranting Monkey is.
Yes, he does. But I also got I got the Romanian V the other day with that one because I asked him whether or not he thought cereal was soup. And he said, well, by the definition of a soup, yes. But you're not eating soup and thinking soup. You're not eating the cereal and thinking soup. He said it a little bit better than I did because he's got that Romanian accent. But no, he was happy enough to answer my question. And I was like, thank you, V. I know you know who Ranting Monkey is too.
Yeah. I was surprised that Mike Harlow knows who Ranting Monkey is because I didn't think they would have crossed paths. But apparently they Mike Harlow is a big Ranting Monkey fan. And that surprised me.
Yeah. And Jeremy and was it Crowder? He helped Crowder set up a website or something like that. Crowder was having problems with a website or something like that. And Jeremy got his web host to help them.
That's good of him.
And then he was kind of what's the word? A confidant for Sydney Watson when she was having her problems with Elijah.
Yeah, no, he
and they ended up streaming together now on community notes.
He seems like a decent guy. I just don't like his videos.
Yeah, I just can't handle his content. But I mean, all of his content is live streams. You know, he doesn't do any. Although his editor makes his live streams like little intros and stuff like that, he doesn't do straight up videos. He just does live streams. So if he could just,
JB has the real question in chat. Next time you got to ask Jeremy that, Jen.
Whether or not he's promoted an oddball, I think he has actually. I just don't watch it.
No. JB, ask him if Marty would have banged his mum.
Whew. You know what? I would absolutely ask a bigger YouTube that one, but I don't really know. I don't think he would have. You know, I think he would have been like, "This is really uncomfortable," because yes, she's really good looking, but no. Now, on the other hand, if you made it an anime, absolutely 100% he would have. Uwu.
No, I remember the arguments Monkey had that was it Marty's mum was totally into him and he probably would have banged her.
Cereals. We're talking about cereal and soup in the chat already. You've already gotten onto that.
It's a fun one.
The way I look at it is there's a reason why these words exist. If cereal was truly soup, then either the word would be cereal or the word would be soup. It wouldn't be both.
No, I mean, I don't. I mean, you can have multiple words that mean the same thing, but I think in this case they're just two different things. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I kind of agree with you by saying we have two words because they are two things.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can have two words that mean the same thing. Like dog and canine mean the same thing.
Nah, well, in a general term, but there's nuance there.
Yeah. But this is like the first example that came to my head. Synonyms exist. You can have two words that mean the same thing. But in this case, cereal and soup are not the same thing. They're just totally different. Well, even if they were both called, monkey, they would be two totally different things.
JB's got a good one there. I didn't think about that. Soup uses a broth. Cereal does not, but not all soups use broth.
I think it was Peter Hades asked, was it Alexa? He did like a 5-second video where he says, Alexa, is cereal soup? And Alexa says no. And so it's like, there you go.
I admit I teased one of the Brits, and it might have been Mike, and Mike might be there. So I'm not doing this to tease you twice, but if cereal is soup, then oatmeal must be chili.
Well,
it's bread chili.
just in case this happens, I'm gonna ask my phone the same question, and keep in mind that I have changed my name on my phone just in case for some reason somebody said something, my phone picked it up. So if it does decide to call me by name, it is not my real name. I've already thought ahead about that. So just in case, I wanted to warn you guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and ask her. Hey Siri, is cereal soup?
Soup is a liquid food made by boiling or simmering meat, fish, or vegetables with various added ingredients. So, to answer this burning question, based on dictionary.com, cereal does not count as a soup. Unless you eat your cereal full of boiled meat, fish, or vegetables. That is.
So there you go.
Siri agrees. Cereal is not soup. I had
You
no
don't
idea what she was going to
actually-
say.
You
No.
know, I actually have to disagree with her though, because some cereals, in all honesty, the reason they add so much sugar to it is basically they're the ingredients of vitamins. So they could have collagen and all the shit that goes in a fish. You don't know that. It's just they also get it from plants. So
It's
wait a minute, Siri.
the components of, but generally in my breakfast cereal in the morning, there's no meat or fish in it.
It's like when I think of Fruit Loops and I realize that I can't understand all the ingredients that are in there, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there were fish parts in it. So that's why I don't eat that anymore.
Maybe not intentionally.
I've got to say, I do love that such a ridiculous question like prompts such like fervent debate. Like it's such a ridiculous question, but people like really take sides, and it's like, no, yes, it is. It's 100% soup. No, it's not. I find it amazing that Monkey has found this question that is like so
Just-
irrelevant yet so passionately argued.
Just surprised that Siri went through all of that. I thought she would just come up and say, I found an article, and just dump it off like that to me. But she's actually like, well, I'm surprised she didn't call me by name. Well, Hammer, the way I see it is, it's like, what's all this interactive stuff? So anyway, I'll believe her. I agree with her.
Yeah.
Cereal and soup are not the same thing.
No,
Like-
they're not.
I don't think that's
It's
going to win the argument with Monkey Butt.
It's also like a little bit, and I am going to pick on a Monkey with this one because I've been throwing this one out a lot last week. I'm not apologizing, YouTube, but it might also be autism, because if you're just going by like the basic ingredients of what is like a vegetarian soup, like a very basic vegetarian soup, or if you're playing that milk is supposed to be like beef broth, then sure, maybe.
I don't know. The only cereal that I'm capable of eating is a rice-based cereal, and I can't have milk. So when I have cereal, I have dry Rice Krispies. That's what I'm limited to. It's not a lot of fun. You can't even put sugar on them because the sugar doesn't stick to anything. It just goes to the bottom, and you're just scooping sugar in your mouth.
I do own that I teased Cynic unintentionally a little bit earlier, though, because of the AAA. In saying that the fairy toast that you guys like in the UK just kind of reminds me of the Australian version of ghetto toast, which is just sugar on butter on toast.
Yeah.
YouTube ate my comment, so I'll just quickly say, because JB was saying, you know what else does that? The spanking debate. That is different because the people who oppose spanking think you're legitimately harming a child. So I can understand why people are passionate about that. Is cereal soup is so irrelevant to everybody's life that I can't really see why people get like dig their heels in passionate about the question.
Yeah.
So I understand that is a very heated topic, but
there's the other
I
one.
can understand why it gets heated.
Adam and Camel have the other one, pineapple on pizza. That's the other one that has no real clout to it. But
I will pretend to be passionate about hating pineapple on pizza, but truthfully, it's your pizza. You can ruin it however you like. It doesn't affect me in the slightest.
Whenever I order a pizza, I get half double beef and the other half Hawaiian. I like pineapple on pizza. It's got to have the ham too. It can't just be be plain pineapple. It has to have both.
I mean, look, if you give me a pizza that has pineapple on it, I'm not going to refuse it. I'll still eat it. It's just like I wouldn't order one with pineapple on it.
Yeah. How about you,
For
Jen?
me, it's not that I dislike pineapple pizza. It depends on where you're ordering it from, because some places are really lazy with their pineapple pizza, and that's where I'm offended. because it is a basic pizza. It is ham and it is pineapple. You can use a little bit better ingredients, so if you're using like, say, cooked ham, which I've had, which is the stuff that's basically Spam but in a plastic container, I'm gonna say no, because that's gross. But if you give me like a really decent ham that's almost like, yeah, I'll even say back bacon is good for this one because it's got a little bit more texture to it. Is it bacon? No. I consider bacon to be the stuff that's got more fat to it, okay? But it has more texture to it. So I'd rather do like a bacon on a pineapple pizza just because, it do a little extra with it. But outside of that, I like pineapple pizza. It's just about who I get it from.
As long as they're both ingredients on there, as long as it's pineapple and ham, I'm perfectly fine. Pineapple by itself, it's just too much sweet, especially if you already have like kind of a sweet sauce on it. That plus it becomes almost like a candy or a cake to me as far as its sweetness. And that's a little bit too much. The ham kind of keeps it in line. A little bit of savory from the ham that kind of centers it a little bit. So
it's also I do recall recipes where part of the way that you would prepare a ham is with pineapple, and people think that's about the flavor. And I'm like, some of it is, it does sweeten the ham. It's kind of like a honey on your ham, but pineapple also is very acidic. So a lot of hams are actually a really tough meat. Like, look at the joint. It's a pretty tough meat. Yeah. So anything that kind of helps to tenderize it is something that you find that they do. Like the salt is there for that. Like the brines are there for that. Pineapple just has a natural way of doing that. Like if you sit something with enough pineapple, it'll tenderize it for you. It's just, it makes it sweet. So ham goes well with sweet. That's why honey ham exists.
I just noticed over on Rumble, Cannibalistic Wizard has been saying things. He says, when he sees Jen's name, he always wants to say Gen T Maxi Pad, because I'm sure you get all the time.
To be honest, at the time when I chose that, I was going more for a Mr. T, but then I owned it afterwards because I watch a lot of I started a lot of YouTube watching people responding to feminists being stupid. And along with those feminist videos was always some kind of maxi pad. And I was like, is this YouTube like striking out at the men?
He also says Hammer's real name is Harvey Timothy Van Wooden. That is incorrect. His real name is theonetonhammer. We have established this.
Yes.
It is canon. And he also says meat lovers with pineapple rules. So
there you go.
You eat that and don't give me any, and we'll get along just fine.
Yeah. I was, the more we're talking about it, the more I want to order a pizza after the show tonight. But I think I'm going to stick with the pasta.
So, are you able to eat pizza? Like, there'd be a lot of ingredients that would be off limits.
It's going to make me sick.
Okay.
But there are some things that I will eat with the knowledge that this is going to make me sick, but it's just too good to eat anyway. But there are things I can do to limit it. Like when I get pizza, I get thin crust, and I get it with light cheese. Because the two things that bother me is the bread and the cheese.
Yeah.
So I get it with the least amount of bread I can and the least amount of cheese I can while still being a pizza. I can't get like hand tossed with extra cheese. That would kill me. I wouldn't survive the night.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can mitigate it, but I'll probably have an upset stomach for a good hour. Just 2 slices. But 24 hours is recovery time. So I'll have 2 tonight, and 2 the next night, and 2 the next night, and finish it off the last night.
Fair enough.
I never question what you're saying, but I always wonder about ingredients because it always makes me wonder what it is in a cheese that might do that. Have you ever tried like some of the more European type cheeses, like the Italian stuff? Like, does it still do it to you too, or is it just...
According to the FODMAP diet that I'm on, I'm allowed to have cheese, but it has to be hard cheese.
Yeah.
I can't have soft cheese. So
that's what I was thinking, like Parms or Asiagos.
Yeah, no mozzarella. It's a soft cheese. No brie. None of the soft cheeses. I can have provolone, hard cheddar, and what's the other one? There's one more. I can have Swiss.
My dad was the same as you. Like he knew certain foods would make him sick, but he's just like, screw it. I want to eat this thing, so I'm just going to take the pain.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
I only.
Hey, Jen.
Well, I'm kind of like sanguine. I'm the type of person to be like, I agree with you. You're gonna have the odd moment where you're gonna eat whatever you want to eat. I only offer alternatives just because it allows you cheese without as much cheese because it's stronger in the flavor. So, get more for your buck without killing yourself as much.
Technically, I'm not supposed to have pasta, but everything on the FODMAP diet doesn't relate directly to me. Some things are more like a suggestion. Like it says, don't have apples. That's one of the things on the list. Don't have apples. But I can eat an apple just fine. So I still do. They don't make me sick. It's the same thing with like, here's something really weird. You want to hear this? This is really weird. I cannot have bread. All right. Straight up. However, I can have potato bread. What? I mean, potato bread still has wheat in it, but I can have a hot dog as long as I use potato bread for the hot dog roll. It's weird. Isn't it weird? It is weird.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder what they're taking out of it. And that's the thing that I always question. Like, what are you actually taking out of it? Because that tells you what the problem was with the
I just wonder if they're using bleached flour like you would see in normal bread.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're using bleached flour in potato rolls, because potato rolls have a color to them. They're like a yellowish brown as opposed to being like white. If you take a hamburger bun that's just, regular basic hamburger bun, it's bright white inside. But
that could also
potato
be
rolls are
that could also be the type of flour that they use. But
maybe they're not.
Could also,
maybe they're not bleaching in the flour. Maybe it's the bleaching part that causes the problem.
Because a lot of flours, in all honesty, it's like rye to wheat. Like a lot of people don't always know when they mix stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that does change the color of the bread. But it is things like bleaching it. It is things like I pulled one with Pat the other day because I had a container of half and half cream that if you were to talk to, like, say, I don't know about you, Terry, but Batman was there and he's from England. Their cream says cream on the bottle because that's what it is. It's cream. There should be nothing else on there but cream. But you look at the list of ours and they've got like, it was locust gum and people were focusing on the locust and not the gum part. I'm like, no. But why is it in there in the first place? Like that, they're adding sugar, they're adding this, they're adding like all this other stuff that they're adding to it. I'm like, you don't need to add all that stuff.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Breyer's ice cream. I still am. I just can't really have ice cream much anymore, but I was a big fan of Breyer's ice cream. And for a long time, their ice cream was cream, milk, and sugar. That was it. If you looked at the ingredients. But about 5 years ago, they added guar gum. Yeah. I looked up guar gum, and all it is a stabilizer. It just means that it can stay on the shelf longer. That's all it does.
Okay.
So it's like, okay. I still can't eat ice cream though. So not that I still do, but I can't. I mean, it'll make me, I'll be sicker with ice cream than just about anything else. So.
That's a good one to ask. What about cottage cheese? That one's a weird one.
I don't eat cottage cheese, so I don't know. I'm assuming yogurt would be another question mark as well. I've never had yogurt.
Okay. Yeah, those ones are a little bit different because of the way the bacteria is added to it. But it's kind of a hit and miss. Like I find if you've ever had it, it was probably in a different version of lasagna. Not a good. Well, my mom's is good, but don't tell that to an Italian lady because she'll smack you upside the head and be like, "That's not the cheese you use. That's ghetto cheese. You don't use that."
Yeah, there's a pizza place in DC. I think it's a franchise. I think they're everywhere. It's spelled Ledo, Lido Pizza. I think it's a franchise that's big in the States, but I don't know for sure. But there's one between where I used to live and where I used to work, and I would go there for lunch at work on a regular basis, and they had their pizza they don't use mozzarella at all in the building. They use cheddar only as their cheese. So it's kind of like, it's pretty cool. And of course, the place that's near me uses all these exotic cheeses, but so one of the cheeses.
Cannibalistic Wizard says pizza is healthy: dairy, meat, fruit, and veggies. It's One way to look at it, I suppose.
And bread.
Well, it's kind of also the proportions, and I'm not saying this to shame anyone because pizza is designed to be delicious. So you're not going to want to have the proportion that you're actually supposed to have. But like 2 to 3 slices for somebody my size is probably the proportion I'm supposed to have. Actually, that's probably more than what I'm supposed to be eating. You know, for a guy, maybe a little bit more, because depending on what you do, you know, depending on your age, you burn it off a little bit faster. But
Yeah.
pizzas aren't on their own bad. It's the way that we go about eating them that's wrong. And that's the culture we lived on.
When I was a young fella, a medium pizza for me was a snack. I had no problem taking on a medium pizza. Like, oh yeah, one for me, one for you.
You know,
not anymore.
And even still, like, I mean, that's normal. But at the same time, even if you compare our ancestors, the only people who are really eating like that were rich.
Yeah.
So, you know, we eat a lot, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that we've progressed and we have food available, but we eat a lot in our society.
Yeah.
And
I haven't actually had pizza in such a long time now. There's no microwave dinners that are pizzas. So since I switched over to the microwave meals, I haven't had pizza in like 6 months.
No, you're probably doing pretty well because like the look of those meals look pretty tasty, actually.
Oh, they're good. They're very good.
You haven't had pizza, but obviously there's plenty of Italian there. Right? I said you haven't had pizza, but there's plenty of Italian in their selection.
Oh yeah. I've had lots of pasta.
Yeah.
But I haven't had pizza in a very long time.
It's just the bread, right?
I think there's something also to hand making pasta, and I'm not throwing shade at the dry pasta because my country might need dry pasta for a while. But I do think there's something to the fresh food because we do digest our food. So things that linger for a long time on the shelf probably have ingredients in them that linger inside you for a long time too.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm full of shit thinking that way, but yeah, like there's got to be something more to it because you look at like Europeans, and yes, they can get fat. They eat well too, but
I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that dead bodies of like modern times take a lot longer to decompose because of all the preservatives that we eat.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So like I do think there's a little bit something to that, and I'm a lazy ass. Like I watch Satsu do this stuff, and he barely makes his own pasta. But you know the stuff I saw him do, I'm like, shit, I should really do that. I've been eyeballing this pasta maker at work, and I'm like, I wonder if I can use you for other things because it's just a little mechanical windy thing. And I'm like, I should be doing that. Like I know this hippie guy from California who's fleeing California. Funny story. But the one thing that I agree with him on is, you know, if you can find some way to hand make your own shit, do that. If not, then do what Terry's doing because at least somebody's making his food.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciate that, yes, you're paying out of pocket for it, but you're also not paying for the equipment that they use to make that stuff. You know?
Well, I'm sure they factor that into the cost, and like,
yeah,
I'm sure they're making profit off their customers. Don't worry about that.
But like the way I think of it's like you live in the place of the world where, and I don't know what the temperature is right now, but yeah, my air conditioner would be on. So thinking that you don't have to heat up your home anymore. Yeah, that alone saved you money, Terry. I guarantee you that alone probably saved you money because right now with like I know your government leaders do kooky things too, not as bad. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes I question.
If you wanted to talk about saving money, consider that every meal on DoorDash I was spending at least $20 because if you spend $20 on DoorDash, you don't have to pay delivery. So it's like I'll just do that, and so. Every meal is $20. Now every meal is like $8. So yes, it's considerably cheaper.
And probably like you said before, healthier than the stuff you were getting before.
Well, I've lost about 15 kilos since I switched over. So yes, it's a lot healthier.
a 16-ounce box of San Giorgio pasta and 2 containers of Francesco Rinaldi pasta sauce. That's 5 dinners. So that's $1.59 for the pasta and $2.39 a piece for the sauce. So that's $2.55, $6.50, $6.50 for 5 nights of dinner.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So one of the other interesting topics that kind of nails something similar. I don't know if you two are more aware of the boycott towards the Hershey's chocolates that's been going on for the last month, and how many retailers are maybe a little bit fucked. So for my end of the world, I'm not going to claim that one necessarily, because a lot of people in my neck of the woods are just broke. So regardless of their feelings on stuff, if they want chocolate, they'll buy it. And there's some people in my neck of the woods who are super woke, so they're buying it because they want to be super woke. But a lot of people really pre-ordered Hershey's because it's usually cheap as far as Easter candy goes. It is sitting there. And to be fair, my area is, yet again, not one of the ones I would go for because, communist Canada, and most people are aware that, like, if they wait until afterwards, they have to drop the price of it. Otherwise, it just sits there. So they're waiting for it to go on sale anyway. This Hershey boycott is going to either murder Hershey's or it's just going to go to people who is going to get donated. So we're going to feed the poor like shit chocolate.
Wow.
So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with feeding the poor because you should feed the poor. I just think the woke don't understand how business works.
I think the government really should make a bigger effort to take care of the poor as far as food is concerned. I don't go for housing them, and I don't go for educating them, but keeping them alive, I think the government should play a part in that. So, I mean, we're people are dealing with food kitchens and people with just goodwill handing them food and that kind of stuff. I think the government should step up. I'm not really big on socialized plans like that, but I mean, I just don't understand why the government will give you money from the SNAP program, basic welfare, but they won't give you the food. They'll give you the money, so you have to go and buy the food. Why not just give them the food?
I think giving them the food directly is even better, because then they can't turn around and buy, cigarettes or alcohol with the money. Like if you give someone, here's $250, spend it on food. Oh, you know what? I really thought red was going to come up at roulette.
Yeah.
It's gone.
To be honest, I've been watching some guy play the hobo life similar, and that's why he's still a hobo, because he keeps spending all his money on the stupid scratch ticket.
Oh, God.
I've never played the lottery, not once ever.
I did when I worked at a convenience store, because I just had a knack for looking at the cards, because every pack has 1 to 2 winners. So you could kind of look at a stack and be like, yeah, I think it's this one. There's a there are numbers to it. I don't understand them at all. I just had a knack for it. But in all honesty, I didn't after a certain point, because not every retailer wants to let you pick. Some of them are like, no, motherfucker, I'm picking.
Yeah. I would if there was a pick six or something like that, where it's a couple $1 million or something like that. I would do that, but I won't go near a scratcher, because even if you win $3.
Or 50 or 100.
Still, I mean, compared to what you can win if you got to, a cash 5 or something like that. It's one of the ones here in the States where you can win, $11.2 million. All right. That's worth spending $5 on. I can, take a chance there. Although I've never done it. My girlfriend does it pretty regularly. It's quite annoying. But
I also don't tend to buy a lot of lottery to begin with. It is the idea that you tend to get more money if you don't spend it on stupid shit, that your chances of winning are shit. But it was one of those things where every once in a while I'd be like, I got a little itch. I think that one right there is going to win me some money. And I didn't buy at my own store. For the record, don't buy at your own store. It's just a whole racket of trouble that you don't want, especially if you actually won something. Because if you did win something, the chances of you claiming it right away, not going to happen at all. By the time you actually get it, it's going to be a lot less than you think. Because the legal the legal process, at least up at here. But yeah, I'd go across the street to another store because there's, gas station across the street. That one there, and I'd walk away with $50 to $100. It didn't happen every week because I didn't do that every week. I was aware of the fact that there were people who would come in and spend $80 to $500, and some of the $500 for like office tickets. So I'm aware that there's a reason for that. But they would come back and win $10. The math was still there. I'm like, I get that this is a group pitching in, but the group of you still only won $10.
Yeah. Well, it is 10 o'clock. You guys have anything else you want to get out of here?
Well, I'm still good for a little bit, but if you don't have any more topics, then,
Well, we have the other topic, disinterested.
Yeah.
But
what was that again? It was interest rates.
Interest rates.
The Fed has hiked the interest rate yet again, another 0.25%. So we're now standing at 5%, I believe. I could not find where they came right out and said, this is the current interest rate. I couldn't find that. But from what I gathered, 5% is generally where it's at. So I didn't really have a lot of detail on it, but I thought it was interesting that Biden keeps saying, oh, everything's working fine. Everything's fine. The banks are fine. Everything's fine. Meanwhile.
Well, I mean, this is why all the banks are going bust, is because they had access to 0% interest loan, 0% interest loans, and now they've got 5% interest. It's like, oh fuck, maybe we shouldn't have borrowed all that money when it was free, because now we've got to pay it back, and it's we can't. We don't have the money.
Yep.
It's like history repeating itself over and over and over again.
Yeah, of course it is. People don't like learning. So
whenever
learning.
interest goes up, this happens to the banks.
Yeah.
This happened once before, Wall Street, that whole thing with trying to save big banks and that kind of stuff. It's the same thing happening now. And it's funny that they're just saving certain banks with certain amounts of money. They're being very selective about who they're going to save and who they're not going to save.
But no, they printed all this money, and so to try and stop the price increases associated with inflation, they're raising the interest rates, and that's causing all the problems. Is that people suddenly have loans that they can't repay. Yeah,
Camo pointed out it's the 9th time that they've increased.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It was the same as 2008, the global financial crisis.
Right.
It's like,
they can't do much more. If they're going to get to the point where they're just no one's going to do any. Money's just going to stop changing hands. People are not going to buy anything. No one's buying cars. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that, but
no.
An average pickup truck is now, a decent pickup truck is now like $65,000-$70,000 for a pickup truck.
Okay.
It's just crazy. And no one can afford that kind of money it's just a pickup truck, man. It's just got a small cab and a back that there's no metal. There's nothing to it. That should be a $25,000 vehicle, It's crazy. You get stuff like decent, like really nice cars. Corvettes are over 100,000. Teslas are now over 100,000. Who can afford that in this time to buy a car like that? Nobody can buy that. So it's crazy. I can't.
As Camel points out, they're still printing money, so the rate hikes don't actually fix anything. That is also true.
Yep.
It's also why, and I hate bringing up the woke shit, but in all honesty, the woke shit really has to stop for a lot of these companies, like the big ones, because right now everybody's in a financial crisis. Everybody is.
They are dialing back on the woke because they suddenly have to be profitable again. Like they can't just get by on ESG money. They need to actually sell a product. And
Yeah. There's a lot of
I-
DEI people getting fired.
good.
It's also so I know I'm getting this from a clip. This lady was talking from the position of an employer. This woke shit that they've been pushing on the college kids is honestly going to hurt a lot of them, because the they them bullshit is such a red flag for people hiring, and it's not to target trans people. It honestly isn't. I'm not worried about Eve, because Eve is fine, or Blair White, you know, like, it's the they thems who don't understand that the red flag is that they have this entitled me, everything needs to revolve around me, you know, nobody else in the workforce matters but me, and they don't work, they're lazy.
No, one thing that I think the study neglected is, because they're saying people with they them on their resumes get lower callbacks. Does it also apply to people who have he, him, or she, her? Because I would think it's the presence of pronouns at all that is putting the employers off. Not that they're specifically they, them pronouns. The fact that you feel entitled to dictate how others will address you in that manner.
That's
That is
basically
the red flag, not the fact that you're going by they, them.
yeah, basically. It's it's the abuse from that side that's pretty much nobody wants to deal with it anymore. It's not about the issue of somebody having a dysphoria or having issues. It's about whether or not you're taking those issues on everybody else around you. And the minute that's the red flag, people are like, you know what? You're not worth the lawsuit.
No, exactly. It's too much trouble to try and accommodate someone like that, because you have to walk on eggshells, and you do anything that they disapprove of and suddenly you've got a major headache. You can't run a company that way if you actually intend it to be profitable. So no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't hire them either. Like, if I had a company, you put pronouns in your resume, you don't get hired.
It goes both ways. If I put a resume in, first of all, you would never find that crap on my resume. You won't find it well, you do kind of find it in my bio, but that's a joke. But I would never put that on my resume. And if I got a call back from somebody saying, oh, by the way, what are your pronouns? It'd be like, well, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you today. Have a great day. And click. You know, if you're going to start asking me about my fucking pronouns, I don't want to work for you.
That's 100%.
And you know what? The alternative statement from me, and this is saying this as somebody who genuinely likes all my Christian friends. If you put I am John the Baptist on your resume, I would say no to you too. Well, I would, for the same reason, because it's an overbearing personality that you're pushing on everybody else, and it makes it hard to focus on the point of why you're there, which is to do your job. So it's not a bias against one certain group. There are, those were basic rules on a resume,
I also have pronouns in my bio, which is also a joke. Because I just have the word pronouns.
You have the pronouns THUR, E.
No. I have the word pronouns in my bio.
No actual pronouns, but the word pronouns. That way he has pronouns in his bio. The word pronouns.
Yeah. I have the word pronouns, and then I have the attribution to Kefki for my avatar. That's it. That's my entire bio. It's the word pronouns and lovely artwork provided by Kefki.
It is a very good avatar, though, that she did for you.
Yeah, no,
that's outstanding.
She's a very good artist.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take that as an opportunity to let you boys both know. Kefki's been doing a little game thing that she's recording with the help of Polly. So they're little 30-minute episodes where she's playing a ghost game. She's animated her ferret avatar, so it matches her lip movements. So each cool. Drawing is she's drawn each drawing, and Polly's helped her match the movements to her mouth. So it's her talking.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a pretty big bio because I'm trying to cover everything I can cover in my bio. It's almost out of room, but I of course have Mjolnir and Uru as my pronouns. Minions, the Wednesday stream, movie buff, computer pro, Trek fan, pre-boomer centrist, and then the hashtag pureblood. and then I'm a bit polarizing with a shrug at the end.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else. I can't even put a period in. That's as far as I can go. So
I never know what to put in my bio because I don't think there's anything that's really that important to know about me. It's like
critically online.
Yeah, but you can
stream
tell
more
that by
than
the. But you can tell that I'm terminally online by the frequency of my tweets. You don't need me to
Right.
spell that out for you in my bio. It's
Yeah.
self-evident.
If you're being followed on Twitter, people already know.
Yeah.
You are probably online more than anybody I know. You know, or maybe Monkey, maybe, or Jack. Pretty close. Because they run a show almost every night.
If I'm awake, I'm online, basically.
I mean, actually streaming somewhere.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. People keep inviting me onto streams, and I've got nothing better to do with my time, so I might as well talk to some people.
I could do during the week streams, no problem, but I kind of want to have my weekends to myself, and my girlfriend kind of agrees. I try not to stream on the weekends, but
no, I mean, I don't stream every day. I wouldn't want to stream every day, but there's days that I don't stream, and then those are the days that I can play video games or, watch YouTube or be annoying on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, the usual stuff that I do when I'm not streaming. It's just like I can have a full day of, video games if I want.
Jen, you do a stream too, don't you?
Well, I did do my own. I gave up on the Canadian politics, not because I don't care, but like most things, it's a frustrating thing I can't fix. So, but I do hop onto streams more often than I do my own, just because I acknowledge that, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I keep having problems with certain things and I'll just get frustrated with it. So an example of this is a few times I've taunted people with the image of me using my video of my face because it's funny. I'm like, I'm not going to go into the thought world of using my face to build a platform. But on occasion, I thought it was nice to introduce myself because it was nice. But
you don't use your face, you use your tits. That's how you get an audience.
But you got to understand, Terry, there's some weirdos online who think that me having a shirt and a sweater on is the same thing. And I'm like, I don't know if they've ever had sex before. So I just don't want the trouble that comes with that.
No. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that if you're trying to, the cheap, easy way to get an audience, it's not your face, is what I'm saying.
But the alternative to that was... so I wouldn't do like sexy stuff. I won't. Like there is this thing called having a reputation I'd like to have past YouTube. But there was a point where when I was streaming with Blind Girl, I actually didn't mind dressing up a little bit. Like if she wanted me to do something goofy, like heck, dress up like an anime character, I would have, because it was helping her. Yeah, I would have cosplayed if she asked me to. Absolutely, because it was more about donating to her cause, because she was trying to help her autism house, and sometimes it would help her pay for her bills for her and her kid, because she did have a 9-year-old kid with autism. So Cryptic was the same. There were a couple of people in the group that were the same. Like we just wanted to help her out in that regard. Like we would get him we would get Jack a pizza. And he would refer to Cryptic as N-word please.
By the way, Blind Girl's link to her Project Hummingbird is still in our description down below.
So her brothers still do stuff with it, but I haven't talked to them in a long time, so I don't want to talk shit about what they're doing. But they still have graphics that they work with a couple of her friends on, and but it's for stuff like that. I don't mind choosing my face for charity. It reminds me of the movie with the older ladies who did the calendar. Like there's a time where it's tastefully done, where you understand what the point is. It's supposed to be nice, but I don't want to do the OnlyFans thing. I don't want to sell my face for views. I don't want to I don't actually want to stalk her. I actually don't like the idea of somebody lingering on my page for 9 years so they can like go through all my shit and tell me what I can and can't say or what I can and can't wear.
Yeah, no.
I actually find that quite annoying that women do that. Is that I see photographs come across from people who are on Twitter and stuff like that, and the girl almost always will cut off the top of their head just so they can get the cleavage into the photograph.
Yeah,
the lacy green trick.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I just think it's cheap.
I remember, I think it was Monkey saying no one's ever seen the top of Lacey Green's head.
Except for Chris.
Yeah, Chris Reagan.
I just don't see that as being necessary. Like, and here I'll pick on another lady. Lauren Chen is an example. Like, I've never seen her have to do that.
Oh, no. She's ultra conservative.
At best, sometimes I think she uses a little bit too much makeup, but that's just a personal opinion. Not because I don't think she shouldn't wear makeup, but sometimes I think maybe it's the lighting.
She uses a lot of foundation.
And
there's not much eyeliner or lipstick or any of that kind of stuff, or eyelashes or anything like that, but she does use an awful lot of foundation. You can't see a wrinkle in there. You can't see pores or anything.
I think if Lauren Chen did start overly sexualizing herself, I think it might actually work against her, because the kind of people who watch her want conservative values, which flashing your tits around is most assuredly not. Yeah. So I think her brand needs her to dress conservatively and not try and flaunt sexuality.
But it's also she's still very capable of flaunting her femininity, and the fact that she's
and femininity and sexuality different things.
But it's the part of appealing and being attractive. Like, you can still say that she's all of those things without putting out so much of herself. And this is something that I had a conversation with both on one of Blair White's chats and with Eve. And it's one of those things that I have against certain parts of this trans movement. Yeah, the ladies who are like, I'm in a dress but my penis is out. That is a category of magazine that you sign up for. You are aware of what you're going to be looking at because all of a sudden there's a penis. Women don't necessarily go around flashing themselves. It's just not a thing. We don't, like, when somebody points out that you have a camel toe, it's generally speaking kind of embarrassing. You're not supposed to be doing that.
It's meant to be embarrassing, but these days, thank you.
You never know nowadays. But it's the same idea. It's one of those things where, like, there's a time and a place for it. When you're not really wanting that kind of stuff around, like, that's not the place for it. That's where people kind of get cranky. And it's not because you don't think the person's attractive. It's like, dude, you're in a church, or dude, you're in the middle of an office meeting, or dude, you're kind of in the middle of a grocery store. There's a time and a place.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if Pearl from Just Pearly Things started dressing like a stripper? Like, it would completely undermine her entire message. So, like, she would just lose all her subscribers because they see her as a massive hypocrite.
I admit there's that part of my ego who does think that there's a part of this push from that side that's really unhealthy. And it comes from eating the shit that Hollywood puts out. Because a lot of them do. A lot of them, like, bathe in the worship of whether or not the celebrities agree with them or not. And then they buy their crap. And I'm sorry, I look at people like Gwyneth Paltrow. and yeah, she's still a beautiful woman. But she's aged, like, not very well.
Yes.
Like, this ozone up the ass thing, lady, I don't think it's doing what you think it's doing. Because I'm looking at Jennifer Aniston, who also pushes that bullshit. Would I buy her crap? No. But whatever it is that she's doing seems to be working for her, because she's still aging somewhat gracefully. On the other hand, I see a lot of Hollywood who's honestly messed themselves up between the Botox, the facial reconstruction surgery, the random chemicals that they put on their face. Makeup isn't really a good thing. Constant drug use, which that they're not talking about, but they do. The alcoholism, and the fact that they're crazy as fuck. Like, mental stress totally ages you a lot. So I'm just saying these people are not the people I would go to for advice, but Yeah, the left is like, oh, Whoopi Goldberg is saying this, and Joy, like these people are vain and kind of gross. So no, I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the Mennonites had it right, you know, like some of the secularites who just live a healthy life, yeah, they age like everybody else, but at least they look normal when they do it.
yeah. I'm not a really big fan
Q
of
says
makeup
Madonna
anyway.
is aging like milk. Yeah, well, sad but true.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as Lauren's concerned, she's got her Asian genetics behind her. That'll keep her looking young for quite a
Until
while.
60, when she'll look like a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah, she's actually. I was looking her up. She's 5'6" tall. She's kind of on the taller side for an Asian girl. So, I remember
Yeah,
her.
same height as my mother.
Remember her taking pictures of silhouette shots when she was pregnant. It was like she's thin, you know, but she's pregnant,
Yeah.
so she's huge. It's like this thin little person, this huge bump sticking out in front of her. It's like didn't even look normal, you know. Not like it ever really looks normal, but you know, usually women put on a certain amount of weight when they get pregnant, and she looked like
Right.
if anything, she lost weight. So there's just this.
All the way, she didn't lose weight. She just redirected it into her belly.
I guess because it looked like she was carrying a basketball with her. You know, she didn't look like a human. So, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I was watching the Whatever podcast, and there was a girl on there who said that she was definitely dead set against makeup. And you can tell on the podcast, she wasn't wearing any makeup, but she was still very, very pretty girl. And she was like, do you know what they put in that stuff? And all the girls that are on the podcast with her are all like rolling their eyes. And you can tell that they're like, you know, shut up. Don't say that. Shut up, you know. And she's going on and on about how, you know, they use crushed beetle wings for the color red for your lipstick. You're putting crushed beetles on your lips, and they're all like horrified at what she's saying.
Yeah,
She's not wrong though.
No, she's not.
She's not.
That you put foundation on to cover up the blemishes on your skin, but the foundation isn't good for you, and it causes blemishes on your skin. So you have to use more foundation to cover up those blemishes.
It's a self-perpetuating market.
It is.
The product causes the problem that it cures.
They prey on women's insecurity to sell their product. It's disgusting.
And this is the part of me that's going to make me sound a little bit more lefty than those lefties are. But the part of me that really cut off on makeup was not good for you, and how they were testing it. Yeah, those beagles, the ones that survive. Yeah, that's the product they sell to you. Yeah, the ones that survive and make it and aren't blind and crippled for life. Yeah, that's the stuff they sell to you.
Hey, there's plenty of makeup out there that doesn't have animal testing.
That's true now, but it still comes from it does come from a history of doing that. And yeah, it's still like that though. Like the stuff that doesn't make you go blind. Yeah, that's the stuff they sell you.
What were you going to say, Terry?
As bad as it sounds, if you're preying on women's insecurities for your target audience, you'll never go broke.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the same as preying on men's horniness. It's like it goes both ways. It's like easy ways to exploit both sexes.
Women are the peacocks, you know. They get all dressed up and pretty and all that kind of stuff to attract attention. I used to say attract a man, but I don't know if that's necessarily the most correct way. I think attracting attention.
Attention of any kind.
Yeah, that's the key. Anyway.
Well, it's just it's associated with power somehow, some way, and it is for women.
Sexual attraction is a form of power.
It starts with how you look. I mean, both sexes, it all starts with looks and goes from there.
Because a lot of people will be very subservient to an attractive person because they want something from that attractive person, being sex. So if you're a really stunningly beautiful woman, then you have power over men. There's just that simple.
Some men, most men, a lot of men.
But enough men that you will have definite power.
Did I see Jack out in the chat?
You did.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna horrify you both by tattling on Pat, because we were talking about actresses.
Don't do it.
And so he was like showing pictures of actresses in ways that I didn't know. But Uma Thurman has toes that are longer than I have fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an N at the end of her name, Uma Thurman, THURMAN. But you know who else has weird appendages? Megan Fox.
Yeah, I know. The toe thumbs.
She has toes for thumbs.
Yeah.
I have not paid close enough attention to either of these women to verify.
Well,
what
At least not the parts we're talking about, right?
No, because I wouldn't normally look at somebody's feet, but then somebody pointed it out. I'm like, oh wow.
She's got big feet. She's got big feet. Yeah.
Big toes. Just
Yeah, but big
toes.
feet too. I think she's like an 8 or something like that. Her feet are pretty big as well, including the toes. But there's plenty of celebrities out there that have their little weird things like that. So they just hide it really well. Anyway, well, it's almost 10:30, and I am very, very hungry. So even if you guys have something, I'm not listening. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
I don't have anything anyway. So
Nah, we've gone well past our normal.
Yeah.
thank you. All right, let me get everyone else out of here as well. Thanks everybody for stopping by and chat and hanging out with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday show, remember the Minions are live every evening, including weekends, with most shows starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. Also, starting next week, we will definitely get a pre-show running. I promise. I'll set it up to be at 8:30, and I'll start it somewhere between 8:30 and 9 when Jen and Terry get here, and we'll actually have a pre-show on Rumble because we don't have time to do a post-show. Everyone has other things to do at night, so we're going to do it the other way around. We're going to do the crazy talk at the beginning, so we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, we will be back next Wednesday on YouTube at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.